In this instructional video, we will be analyzing qualitative graphs. So we can analyze both parts of a function by describing them as either increasing or decreasing. And we can describe them as linear or nonlinear. So looking at between the values of x being 0 and x being 4. So going from 0 to 4, so looking at this section, that section of the graph is increasing because it's going up. And it is nonlinear because it is not a straight line. If we're looking between x is 4 and x is 8, so going from, again, the 4 line to the 8 line, that section of the graph is going down. So we would describe it as decreasing, and again, also non-linear because it is not a straight line. Most of our qualitative graphs are going to be called distance and time graphs, meaning distance is along the y-axis and time is along the x-axis. It shows us how far two objects are from one another. So consider these following types of lines on a distance versus time graph. So in this first one, that is a linear straight line function. It is increasing because it is going up. So we could say that as time increases, so does distance. So meaning the longer time goes on, the farther away the two objects are. Letter B is linear as it is a straight line, but this one is decreasing because it is going down. Meaning that as time increases, distance decreases. Meaning that as time is going on, the distance between the two objects, they are getting closer and closer together. Letter C is linear as it is a straight line, but it is not increasing or decreasing. It is constant. So as time is increasing, the distance is not changing. Letter D and E are both nonlinear graphs. Nonlinear means that they are changing speeds. So letter D is increasing, and we can see that it's starting off slow and then it goes faster at the end. So distance is increasing as time is going on, and it's increasing in speed. Again, it goes slow and then it starts to go faster. For letter E, it starts off fast and then it slows down. It's still increasing because the graph is still going up, but it's doing it at a different speed. So distance is increasing over time at a decreasing speed. So it starts off going really fast and then it slows down as time goes on. For number 1, it says match each distance versus time graph with the correct description. So letter A, Kaylee got on the bus at her house. The bus made 2 more stops before it arrived at school. That's going to be represented by this middle graph because we can follow our story. Kaylee got on the bus is the first line. The straight line across represents our stop. The bus drives again. Another straight line across means it stops, and then it continues on to school. Letter B, Brennan and his dad left for school in his dad's car. They got stopped at the train tracks for several minutes before they were able to continue to school. That's going to be this first graph, because again, we can follow the story. Brennan and his dad start driving to school. The big straight line represents where they were stopped at the train tracks. And then the big diagonal line represents them driving to school. So letter C has to be the last one, but we're going to follow our story as we read our graph. Cameron left for school with his mom, so that's the first part, but remembered he left his English project at home. So he turns back around. Notice it's now decreasing because he went back to his house, and she took him back home to get his project. So that's where the straight line is, because they're at home getting the project. Then they headed back to school with no stops, which is our big diagonal line. Letter C. Number 2, create a distance versus time graph showing Adam's distance from his house. Label each segment of the graph. So Adam's house is down here along the bottom because we're doing distance from distance from Adam's house. Distance from Adam's house. So Adam's house is down here, but he's not at his house. Adam left his friend Brody's house. So Brody's house is away from Adam's house. So we're going to start up high and we're going to start walking home. So we're walking to Brody's house. Adam realized he left his phone at Brody's, so he turned around to get it. So we're going to go back up. We're going away from his house. Adam left a second time and started to walk home. So now again, we're walking home. Adam stopped halfway to talk to a friend. So we're going to show a stop because he's talking to his friend. And then he quickly ran home to make it in time for dinner. All the way, again, ending back at the house. Number 3, create a distance versus time graph showing Vanessa's distance from her house. Label each segment of the graph. Again, distance from her house. So her house is going to be our x-axis line. So Vanessa left her house. So she's currently at her house down here on the bottom, and she leaves her house. She increased her speed, but stopped about halfway. Notice the difference between my lines. One of them is going up slower than the other. Vanessa sat down to stop and stretch. So we're going to draw a stop. And then she decided to turn around and walk back home at a much slower pace. And so we have our line going much slower than the 2 running lines. Number 4, the graph shows Justin's distance from his house as he walks to school. Interpret what do you think happens at each segment. So in letter A, we can see that he is walking away from his house. So we're going to say Justin leaves his house to walk to school. In part B, that's a straight line. So we need to talk about how we have some kind of stop. So we're gonna say Justin stops to, and again, you can put any explanation. I'm gonna put he stops to tie his shoe. But any stop will work. He could stop to talk to a friend. He could stop to go to the bathroom. He could stop to do anything, to wait on the light to change or the crossing guard, but as long as you're referencing some type of stop. And then in letter C, we want to notice that he starts off slow, but then he speeds up as he gets to school. So we're going to reference that Justin speeds up. And we're going to give a reason as to why he's speeding up. He's speeding up so that I'm going to say he isn't late. But any reason will work. He could be speeding up to cross the street before the light changes. He could be speeding up to try and chase down a friend so they can walk together. Any reason at all as to why he may start going faster.